What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Yep, I did unmute you.
I didn't do your little intro. I don't know if you have an intro or if there's a big whole
there's,
production.
I mean, there's not much of an intro, but saying hello, everybody.
What's
Welcome,
going on?
welcome back to Out of Bounds. It's been how long? Um, I'm finally getting some guests come by, and it's been a weird situation right now, and I haven't been able to find too many guests. But luckily, I have a good friend of mine here, and most of you guys know.
You couldn't find anybody important or worthwhile, so you settled for me, and that's fine.
I mean, that's not the way I exactly want to put it, but you know what I mean.
You settled for the Madden guy.
Madden guy, Madden guy, Madden guy. How you doing tonight, man?
I'm good, man. I'm glad you asked me to do this. I think you asked me either the day of or the day after, a little fiasco.
Day
So
before.
the day before. Yeah, okay. And then I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, man, good a time as any. Let's do it.
Right. I mean, and if you end up wanting to talk about it, we can. It's
I have nothing to hide. So
yeah. We'll leave that. We'll leave
bunch
that
of
up. We won't talk about that.
a bunch of people have asked me. I've been nothing but honest.
Right. We'll leave that up in the air for now, but we'll talk about it here eventually. Um, but as I asked anybody in that ever comes onto my show, Out of Bounds, with Cubs fan 004, first question I always ask them: how did you get into content creation, or yeah, content creation, streaming, whatever, everything you've done for MLB, Madden, all of that sort.
I love this question because if there's a right way to go about getting what I've gotten I mean, it's taken me a little bit to do it. Don't get me wrong, because I'm not a big YouTuber. I'm not a pro gamer. I haven't won any Madden tournaments. I'm just a 37-year-old stay-at-home dad that has played video games since he was 10 years old. So, I love this question for a couple reasons, and that being one of them, because I think if there is other than being a big YouTuber or a pro gamer or whatever, I think there is a right way to going about content creating, getting on Twitch and growing to the capacity that I have. And I'm not even where I'd like to be, and if I do blow up more, great. If not, well, I'm great too. But I've always been into video games, never knew about streaming, didn't know about Twitch, didn't know about YouTube, none of that, just because I'm an old guy. Like I said, I'm 37 years old. So I found out about Twitch on Facebook one day because two of my buddies were talking trash to one another about playing each other in Madden. One of them said, well, one of you guys should stream it on Twitch. I'm like, what in the world is Twitch? They're like, oh, you can stream what you're playing. And I was like, what? I was like, wow, okay. So I got on there, started watching Madden because I was into Madden at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time I was into Madden. Leading up until that, like 3 years leading up until getting back into Madden, I took like a 3-year break from Madden. I was a competitive NHL gamer. Like I was playing in money leagues, playing NHL for money and all this other stuff, but I didn't know anything about streaming or anything like that. So I log into Twitch. I make my Twitch name, which was always my gamer tag with Xbox since like 2003. That's where my Twitch name comes from. And anybody wants to know, I'm the oldest of 3 brothers. Our nickname is Kep, and 13 has always been my jersey number. So that's where my name comes from. But it was always my gamer tags. I signed in. I just started watching, and I was probably on Twitch for maybe about 6 months. And I got hurt at work. And at this time, I had only had an Xbox 360. So I got hurt at work. I got back into playing video games. I was at home with the kids. I was like, well, I need to do something, while the kids are at school. We hadn't had the baby yet. So I just started playing video games. I was like, let's see what this Twitch app is. And I put the app on my Xbox 360 and started streaming from my 360. No Connect, no camera, no nothing. I would put the chat on my phone, and then I'd play music on an iPad and put the iPad right by my headset. So the people that were in the chat, that were in the stream, which was only a few when I first started, obviously, like everybody, 10 to 20 people, which was pretty deep. It was pretty decent, just starting out. But people had known me for months. They had known my sense of humor. I would go into chats. I would go into all kinds of chats, just cut up with people, get to know people, show my sense of humor, crack jokes, make people laugh. So they're like, oh, Big Kep streaming. He's a pretty funny guy. Let's go watch him. So that's how it
Right.
started. And it just snowballed from there. And I think I still have my 360. So the following Christmas, I started streaming in February of 2017. No, 16. February 2016 is when I first started streaming on Twitch. Following Christmas, right before Christmas, I finally got an Xbox One, and then got a cheap camera, a cheap microphone, and I just kept at it. I did it on a daily basis for hours and hours and hours on end. Once the baby got here, we had the baby. I was still streaming. When he would nap, and I was still streaming long hours. And now that he's grown, I don't stream as much as I used to, but I still try and get on every day and stream every day, 4 or 5 hours a day. But I say all that because the consistency, being entertaining, and you can have all that, but consistency is the most important thing. Like
Mm-hmm.
you got to be entertaining. Don't get me wrong. You got to be entertaining. You don't even have to be really good at the game. I mean, you don't even really have to be good at the game of your choice. Just as long as you're entertaining and funny and you can interact and you're personable. And I think that's the biggest thing with me, is because I'm so personable. Like there's nobody that can't come to me and talk to me about anything, just because, I'm 37 years old and I've seen just about everything you can think of in life, between how I was raised and the military and, everything. So anybody from any kind of walk of life can come to me and talk to me. I'm very personable, but I'm also that guy that gives what he gets. If you come in and you treat me like an idiot, or you come at me with all disrespectfully, I'm going to come back at you disrespectfully. I don't shy away from anything. Okay. I'm not shy. I used to be an introvert. The Marine Corps helped change that. I'm not an introvert anymore, and haven't been for quite
Mm-hmm.
some time.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's the biggest thing, man, with me, and why I've grown the way I have, is because I'm so personable and people can relate to me. Like I'm a down to earth guy. The check mark, although it took me a long time to get it. I don't like, I'm nobody. To me, I'm nobody. I'm just like everybody else. Whether, I just stream and play video games. If there's people that look at me more than that, and that's fine, but I don't look at myself any more than just a guy that streams video games. Just that's just how I am. So I think that's the biggest thing, and that's how I got into content creation and streaming. Was I got hurt at work, got back into playing video games, found out about Twitch from a couple buddies, and here I am. 3 years, just removed from coming up on 3 years. Coming up in February, it'll be 3 years that I've been streaming, and I hold steady around 300 to 400 subs. And it's wonderful because the majority of what I make goes to ease the burden on my wife and help put food on the table, help pay bills. And it's funny, my wife never thought in a million years she'd be okay with me playing video games.
But when you're putting food on the table, you're definitely she's gonna definitely be okay with you playing
And
video
trust me,
games.
I remind her every time when the 15th comes around, because that's when we get our Twitch checks. I'll be like, hey babe, Madden money's coming.
Ad money's
I
coming.
remind her. I remind her all the time,
Like,
and she finds it funny because when people ask her what I do, and she'll tell her coworkers or friends or whatever, yeah, my husband plays video games for a living.
well, yeah. I mean, it's becoming more and more welcomed with or like more understood with like more popular gamers going into the mainstream. Some people understand it, some people don't understand. That's
Well,
why.
you like, I'm an old guy, right? But like guys from my generation, that's when, you know, I remember playing Atari, but it wasn't, it was the original NES. Like guys my age, that's what we started out on, NES, and then it just kept evolving. So I think before me, maybe before my generation, that's the generation that don't understand.
Yeah.
Whatever generation that is, I don't know, but
Hmm.
I think that's the generation that don't understand, and the media guys and all these other people that still attribute video games to violence and laziness and whatever. But I mean, that's
Those
not the you're a product of your environment, what you are. Video games don't. I don't believe in that at all. You know, it
Uh,
starts at home.
let, let,
Don't let parenting is what does it, not video games.
right. Let's put it this way. I've heard the stories here, left, right, and where people keep saying, "Oh, video game starts violence. Grand Theft Auto is turning people into killers." Columbine was caused by video games. Blah 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 blah. But like, we know what truly causes all that, and it's never. It's just these people. They're still out there that say that. Even our president right now says that.
I mean, we live in an age now where everyone has a disorder. It's everything's a disorder. It's not anything but that. No, well, let's give them some medicine. Like apparently now they just come out with a Fortnite disorder. No, your child plays Fortnite for hours on end because you allow them to play Fortnite for hours on end. They're not addicted to it. If you'd
Mm-hmm.
be a parent and not let Fortnite babysit your children, they wouldn't be addicted to Fortnite.
Exactly. Like people go on these like news organizations or news shows and they sit there and say, "My son is addicted to Fortnite. I can't get him off the game. He's throwing stuff at me. He's being violent." Well, are you a mother? Are you being a father? Or are you being a parent? Like, where is the responsibility that you have as a parent? Where is that? Don't blame it on the game. Blame it on you.
Me and my wife deal with it because of me. We have so many consoles in the house. We've got a PlayStation 4 that I gave my stepdaughter when I got my PlayStation Pro. The Xbox One that I gave to my son and stepson when somebody bought and gave me an Xbox One X. There's an Xbox One that they had before I gave them my Xbox One in the living room. We just got them a Switch for Christmas. So we've got every console you can think of that is big right now, and they all have every console they have Fortnite on it. And when they get in the mood, they all three play together. But we set aside time to eat dinner at the dinner table, to watch TV in the den, to do things, but when it's time to unwind, yeah, all right, go ahead, go play Fortnite. But the minute I hear you arguing, fighting, acting crazy, you're done.
Yeah.
They go to bed at 8:30 every night on a school night. They'd have their homework done, their chores are done, and that's how it's a reward system. If you don't do what you're supposed to, then you don't get to play Fortnite. As simple as that. If you want to play Fortnite, you better do what you're supposed to, better act how you're supposed to, and you better get good grades.
Right. I feel that's the way I'm going to be when I'm a parent. I mean, I'm only 24, but eventually in the next how many years, whenever I find the woman that could put up with my shit, put up with my shit and then have a kid with me.
If Big Old Buck found somebody, anything's possible. I hope he's in here. I don't know if he is. I hope he's in here.
I don't think he is, but I'll make sure to. I will make sure to edit that clip down. Somebody clip that, edit it down, and send it to Big Old Buck. But to everybody in chat, wait, I do need to finish what I was saying. But basically, I'll be the kind of parent like, hey, if you get good grades, I don't care what you do. As long as you get good grades, do what you want. But if you're not getting good grades and you're on the game all the time, then you're getting off the game and you're going to start getting good grades.
I am a big softy when it comes to my kids, though, because I was raised with an iron fist. A lot of people that have been around me for a long time know the stories I've told about my mother. And I don't know if anybody's ever seen the movie Mommy Dearest. That woman makes my mother. That woman's a saint compared to my mother. I got whooped like it was a street fight no matter what I did, whether I cussed or whether I put away a dirty dish.
God
I got beat
damn.
with fists and legs and all kinds of stuff. So, I mean, I'm not that type of parent. Like I only spank my children if it's absolutely necessary. But most of the time, I just got to give them a look.
Right, like give them that stare down of death. Like
give them that dad stare and that stern voice, and that's about it.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that at all. But throughout the stream, guys. You guys can all definitely type in questions. At nothing's gonna be out of bounds when it type of question.
Nothing's
Anything.
out of bounds with me.
No, pun intended. Uh, also call in. I've been putting the call in number throughout the stream, 646-568-7788, and then you can type in the meeting ID 204-998-3972. Ask questions, talk to Kep, anything of that nature. But as of right now, you guys are more than welcome to ask questions throughout. We're going to talk about topics. We're going to talk about more about his streaming, what he plans on doing in the future, so on and so forth. But It's a Blitz says, first, I just want to tell Kep, thank you for helping me with what I was going through the last couple months. Everything seems fine for now. And Cubs fan, I just followed today, and I'm looking forward to the streams. But Kep, I noticed when I told my parents about me streaming and how people make money streaming on Twitch, how do you explain to anyone why people would watch me on Twitch? LOL.
I'm as you guys know me to be blunt, honest, and straightforward. Tough love, unbiased opinion always. Blitz, you're a young dude. You're in what? You're a senior in high school, junior, senior in high school. You've got your whole life ahead of you. I would say, obviously concentrate on school because and I say this with the utmost respect to the small streamers, and I even consider myself a small streamer, even though I
Same
I
here.
make some decent money doing it, and I have a decent following. I have a big social media presence for the most part. Not everybody was cut out to be successful doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody was cut out. You might love doing it, and it might be a hobby, but there comes a point in time where you sit back and be like, am I getting out of it what I'm putting into it, whether I love it or not? Is it taking away from something else that I could be doing that could be, prospering my life, whether it be financially or mentally or all of that? You have to really look at yourself and say, hey, is this going to be lucrative for me in the long run? And is it going to be stable enough for me to live? Like right now, you're a junior, senior in high school. You don't have any bills. You don't have any, you don't have any real responsibilities. But when you graduate high school, the real world's going to kick you square in the dick.
Mm-hmm. I
And
know that all.
And unless you have, parents or, whatever that's going to let you stay at home on their dime, I'm not that parent. I'm telling my kids right now, you better get your, as soon as you hit 18, you get your ass out there, you find a job, you go to college, you do something. Because at 18, I was in the Marine Corps. I played my last summer of Legion baseball, and my butt was in the Marine Corps. I didn't get into this till I was 34 years old, 33, 34 years old. And, apparently I have the personality to be somewhat successful doing it. But I'll tell you right now, baby Kep is 2. If and when he turns 5 and he goes to preschool, if I'm not making it to where I'm able to do more than just pay a few bills and put a little bit of food on the table, then my butt's going back to work. Because ultimately that's what it's about is, being able to support not only yourself, but other people as well. If you're in that situation,
right.
if you're in a situation where you've got to support other people and feed other mouths, then you got to look at yourself and be like, is this really worth it? Is it really worth the time I'm putting it in? Maybe you go to work and then you come home and you stream a little bit before you got to go to bed and wake up and go to work the next day. And if it turns into something great, but if it doesn't, you really have to look at yourself and be like, maybe this ain't for me. I love doing it, but for some reason, it's not working out.
Right.
But Blitz, alluding to what you were talking about is, you can come and talk to me about anything. I've been where you were, being a young man and parents, divorce and all, and, not, things not going right at home and you thinking it's your fault. But trust me, young man, it's never stuff between parents and stuff between adults is never going to be a child's fault. So just keep that in mind. Continue loving your mom and dad, and what's meant to be will be.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. You are 100% on the money with a lot of that stuff. I'll give you with a lot of the things I've been I've struggled, especially with trying to find, trying to think, especially with life. In the beginning, I knew I wanted to. I thought, I thought the similar route that everyone was going to think. I'm going to go to college. I'm going to get it. I'm going to get a good job. I'm going to get, I'm going to get a lot of money from that job. And then I went to college and life kicked me in the butt a little bit, and I understood that I was not paying attention, and I understood that, oh wait, school is not for me. Maybe I should have realized that, especially when I was in high school. And then I went out in the real world, and I got myself a full-time job, working 40 hours, almost 40 hours, 50 hours a week, and I'm doing this when I'm not doing anything else. I try to have a life outside of this, and I do every once in a while, but like I do this as a hobby, flat out. And so just give a little background to everybody that's coming into here that don't know me. I kind of I know what he's kind of talking about. I'm fortunate to be able to have some good parents that are letting me, stay here. I still pay bills, a little bit of bills here and there, but I still stay here. I I have a good job, stable job. I can't say I like the job, but a stable job. but
Nobody
yeah.
likes their job.
I mean,
Nobody.
there's some people out there. Ask Frisk. I don't know how he wouldn't like his job working for EA. But
I mean, somebody's always got a gripe with whatever they're doing. Nothing. Life isn't perfect. If life was perfect, it'd be boring.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. It'd definitely be boring, especially when you're working in a factory making refrigerators.
But I think that it goes a lot without saying that. You're 24. I got 13 years on you, so it's not out of the normal for a 24-year-old to still live at home. It's not.
Yeah,
I mean,
trust me.
Nowadays, it's not out of the norm. So
yeah, trust me when I say this. I think about that all the goddamn time. And then somebody asks me, "Where are you living at?" And I'm like, "With my parents." And then, and they're like, "Oh, lucky you."
Yeah, lucky you.
Yeah, they're like, "Lucky you, man. I'm not living at home anymore." And yeah, and they're all jealous because they're all paying, they're paying rent and stuff like that. And I'm paying my bills here and there, but I'm living rent free. But Army 19213 says, "Kemp, what's the best way to stream?" That's the best way.
The best way to stream is the way you can afford it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I started out same way as Kep did. Hit the I hit the share button on my PlayStation, started streaming from my PlayStation, just playing Road to the Show on MLB. And, and the MLB category was not oh, it was a desolate wasteland back in 50. My biggest question, I know you. I don't know you as the Madden guy. I know you as an MLB guy because I met you through MLB. How did you get into the MLB community? Like, what made you get into the MLB community?
First off, baseball was my first love. I started playing T-ball when I was 3 years old. And I don't like to toot my own horn because I don't like reliving the glory days, but I was damn good from the time. Like my parents and family would always say how good I was when I was little. And then through, middle school, high school, Legion, all that stuff. I've always loved baseball. Baseball was my first love. Well, absolutely love baseball. I played the baseball games every year. I played EA's college baseball game when they had it. I played 2K's games. When 2K stopped making baseball, there was nothing. Like I didn't know of anything other than 2K. So when 2K stopped making a baseball game, I didn't have a baseball game, which was why I got back into Madden, and then Madden got stale to me, so I got into NHL. I've always been a competitive guy I still am. As most of you know that when you watch me, I'm a very competitive guy. So
Oh, I know.
went back to Madden after 3 years because of Twitch, and I saw how the graphics were changing with the new Xbox One, and I saw the graphics, and I was like, wow, I got to get back into Madden. That looks, it's cool as hell. So I got back into Madden. Loved Madden. Did stream nothing but Madden when I first started streaming. Nothing but Madden. All day, every day. That's all I had. All I did. I was playing other games on the side, but not much. So once NHL went away from the, progressing your guy, I was like, well, I'm not playing this no more. I want to be able to build the guy the way I want to. So I went back to Madden full time. And then last year's Madden, the state of Madden was so bad as far as the game went, the way people were playing it, the way it was just, I was angry every day. Even when I got off stream, like it was transferring over into dinner time, and I would still have an attitude of like if I could not stop streaming Madden and get offline if I ended on a loss, because I knew what it was going to do the rest of the night to my life, to my attitude towards my wife, towards my kids. And it wasn't like a physical thing, but it was an attitude thing.
No, yeah.
And I don't know if you guys know this, but I have a little bit of an attitude. I'm breaking news.
That ain't breaking news. Especially to the people of Twitch, right? Or I mean, especially to the people of Twitch and Twitter.
when everybody started talking about MLB, it was throughout the Madden community, people were talking about MLB. I was like, I'm going to give MLB a shot. So when MLB, I got it a week early when they released it a week before it was supposed to come out, like pre-order, I guess, like week early pre-order. And everybody was like, yeah, Kep, we like, it was even like the people that were watching me stream Madden could see that I was angry. Like it wasn't a good stream. Like I was just getting angry. And it actually came to a head when I got so angry one day that I had an aneurysm on stream. Nobody knew it. Nobody saw it, but I could feel it. Like I couldn't move anything from my neck down. I just had uncontrollable shakes from my neck down. I just kept my head still because I felt like something was happening, but I didn't want anybody to see it. I didn't want anybody to notice because I didn't want anybody to freak out. So that night I was like, yep, I'm done with Madden. I'm done with Madden. I'm getting too pissed off. And I'm not an unhealthy guy. Like I don't have high blood pressure. I don't have high cholesterol, none of that stuff. Like everybody looks at me and thinks I'm morbidly obese. I'm healthy as a whole. I'm healthy as the most healthy horse you could think of. Nothing wrong with me at all. It's just I got so pissed off that I had an aneurysm. Like that's exactly what it was. It was like a little bit of a seizure or something because I got so angry. So that's when I got into MLB. And let me tell you what, when I came into the MLB community, I knew nobody, not a single soul, never watched no MLB streams. And I started going around the MLB streams. And again, I had to reintroduce myself to that community. So I would go in and I'd talk to people. And then once I felt like I was comfortable enough with a streamer, Scuffy was the first one, JV. I tried to get in cool with Healy, but he didn't seem like he was too into conversating. So I was just like, all right, whatever. I'm the type of person, I'm not going to invest time in you if you don't want to invest time back. So I kind of shied away from his streams, and that's nothing towards him. I mean, his streams were always crazy and, a lot of viewers, and I know how that can get. So I would go watch the guys and talk to the guys that were smaller streamers. And I got really close with Scuffy. I get really, cool with JV, B-Mac, Ice Mac, Buck, and me and Buck. And I didn't know about Buck until I saw an exchange with Buck on Twitter with ScoMo. So that's when I started watching Buck, and I was like, me and Buck are kind of similar. So I might, So I would just start conversating with people, everybody. I would start conversating with not just the streamer, but with the chat. And, once I get comfortable with somebody that's when my sense of humor comes out. Because I don't get right into my type of sense of humor, my type of messing around and busting balls with people until I feel I'm comfortable enough with you, or you're comfortable enough with my sense of humor. Because I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I'm a type A, extrovert. Like I want to be cool with everybody. I want to bust everybody's balls. I want to make everybody laugh, whether it's at your expense or my own.
Right.
And that's how I've been for a long time. So, but when I got into seeing the production that I saw from a lot of MLB streamers with their overlays and their graphics and their stream decks and their this and their that. Nobody was doing that in the Madden community. Nobody. Not a single soul. I was the only one. I didn't have a stream deck. I was using my hotkeys. I'd have funny GIFs and sound effects. And I was the only one doing that at the time. So when I went to the MLB community, I saw how much production and how much time and effort the MLB guys put into their streams. I was like, yeah, this is dope. I'm so glad to see, streamers doing that. So and I have had nothing but good experiences with the MLB community. I feel, Tyler Daddy Demu, you know, real close with, Quash also. And I feel like I've made friends in the MLB community.
Yeah.
So I thoroughly enjoyed the MLB community. And I know when Madden came out in August, when Madden 19 came out in August, MLB took a back seat because it's the new Madden. Like, I'm a Madden guy.
It's Madden,
right? I'm a Madden guy. So
Madden guy. It's Madden season. Like, it
yeah,
happens with everybody.
It has with me. It has nothing to do with viewers or money or subs or any of that. Because trust me, when I stopped playing Madden in March, which is unheard of for a Madden streamer, you don't stop streaming Madden in March, or February, March, end of February, March. You stream Madden from August to August. Well, I lost close to 150 subs. I can't remember the exact number. It was close to 150 subs. My viewers were basically cut in half until the MLB community saw my consistency and the time and the effort I was putting into MLB streams. And then my viewers got back up to 100 plus, and I started getting subs from the MLB guys that were strictly just watching MLB guys. And there's a number of strictly MLB guys that still support me even though I'm playing Madden. Because they got to know me as a person, not just a streamer, but as a person. So I still have quite a bit of support from a lot of the people that came to me through MLB. And when MLB 19 drops, when MLB The Show 19 drops, I'm gonna be right there on MLB 19 because that's 2 months away. And I'm enjoying Madden for the most part. But see, I said the most part. I'm not enjoying it 110%. Like, if I want to do something, I'm gonna do it 110% and enjoy it. But the second I start feeling that I'm not putting on a good show, or I'm not providing a place for people to come and enjoy themselves and not seeing me rage and be angry all the time, then it's MLB calms me, believe it or not. MLB, although I can be pretty savage on MLB too, but it's nowhere near how I am on Madden. Nowhere near. So I look forward to MLB 19, the show coming out, and getting back into that. And if the state of Madden is still good, then I'm probably going to split it. I'm probably going to split it between MLB and Madden. And that's just what I'm going to do.
Right. Yeah, I feel you. And when you say that MLB calms you, some people would think, because a lot of us in the community, it makes us want to punch a hole in the wall. But but then again, you play Madden more than I do, so I can't question that at all.
Trust me, it takes, especially with weekend league. Like, I don't get too mad at head-to-heads, just online head-to-head seasons. But when it comes weekend league time, oh boy,
yeah.
Weekend league is a different monster.
Yeah, Sean Parm said, Kep is a rare breed. Dude gets calm in MLB. You ain't wrong though. You ain't wrong.
I still get like I still rage at MLB, just not as bad. Because
right.
I know, because with MLB, with a lot of guys that don't understand with MLB and Madden, it's night and day. Madden, there's so much you got to rely on AI wise. MLB's not like you. I know you guys believe in RNG and stuff for MLB, but trust me, you control what pitches you swing at. You control what pitches you don't swing at. You don't have to rely on a DB or an offensive lineman doing what they're supposed to in order for you to get a playoff.
Yeah.
There's way more RNG and dice rolls and animations in Madden. So that's why I've always agreed with MLB being closer to an esport than people realize, because it's predicated on user ability. It's predicated on your eye and your patience and your Now
Yeah.
I know there's some RNG with analog pitching. I don't think pitches go where they're supposed to,
Oh,
and the
I don't think so
PCI
either.
stuff and the PCI placement probably is a little random at times. But for the most part, in my opinion, and I know a lot of guys will say, "Well, you haven't been playing the show that long." Well, I mean, I am a baseball guy. I mean, I have I love baseball. I played baseball video games before. Now, don't get me wrong. I never played the show. I never played the show until 18. So, but I'm speaking from experience with other baseball games that, it's a little more, there's a lot more user ability involved in Madden. I promise you that.
Right. And I'm going hot take right now. I fully believe MLB is the better game out of any sports games out there. Period. And people would get a riot squad on me for saying that, and I know certain people that they'd call me stupid, but I think it is the flat out truth. MLB is better than any sports game out there. Period.
Stupid or not, your beard game is top notch.
Thank you. Thank you. I take pride in it. I mean, even when I grow it out to fully look like a full-blown Iowan hobo. But
I'm 37 and I look like I'm going through puberty.
Sounds about right. Yeah. I've seen my 16-year-old brother grow more facial hair than that.
I guess it's just genetic. Anyway, but no, I'm really looking forward to MLB 19.
Me too. Every year I'm always looking forward to it, no matter, because I'm always looking forward to any new people that come into the community, anybody obviously that's still sticking around, and it's gonna bring all of us together, one way or another.
What's Kep's opinion on microtransactions? Microtransactions as far as what? As far as like any game? Because
let's put it, Kep. Let's put it this way. Yes, any game. Let's go with any game. I was about to go through the list and read off the questions again because we've been talking so much we haven't been able to get to them. But yeah, I'm
not answering Freddie Harrop. How about them Eagles? Don't poke the bear. All right.
Well, we'll get to that. There's a conversation to be had about it, but like we'll get to that. It's nothing to joke about. It's more along the lines of a time. But what is your thoughts on microtransactions?
I'm an OG, man. I'm old school. Like, I understand some people's gripes with it, but when I grew up playing video games, obviously there wasn't microtransactions. You bought the game, you played it for what it was. But at the end of the day, I'm grown enough and mature enough to know that these companies are a business. They're there to make money. And if they can find a way to make you spend more, they're going to. You have to have enough self-control to not buy stuff if you don't want to. No, these companies aren't holding a gun to your head and saying, "Hey, purchase this or you can't play." There's other game modes. If you want, it's enticing, which is why there's probably going to be an investigation. Before too long about it being gambling and enticing children to spend money doing it.
Well, it kind of is in a sense, but the way I always felt about it, was it's okay for certain games, if that makes sense. Like, it's okay. Like, you do with these Ultimate Team modes, like Diamond Dynasty, My Team, Mutt, all of that.
But I think the only one, like, here's my thing with it. You're going to spend time or you're going to spend money or you're going to spend both. But now, which is more valuable to you? Do you not have enough time? Do you not have enough time to put in the grind to get an immortal or get a diamond or get a 99 overall? There's different, you guys know what I'm talking about because you all play these games. So
yeah, and
do you make enough money to put money into it? I'm not the type of guy to pocket check anybody. If you want to spend your money on virtual cards, you go right ahead. I mean, right. I do. I spend money. I know people that spend an inordinate amount of money on Ultimate Team.
Yeah, we're not gonna judge you, Mr. Golden Sports, okay?
I mean, I had Vladimir Guerrero 3 weeks into the game when MLB The Show 18 dropped.
Right.
3 weeks into the game, I had Vladimir Guerrero. Now it wasn't on, it was only like $100 of it was my money, but I'm so graciously enough to have a supporter that's like, hey, I love your streams. I want to help you have the best content. If that helps you out, great. I love watching you, so I want you to have the best content.
Right.
So I'm blessed in that aspect. And
Right.
let me alluding to segueing into the fact that if you're a streamer and you make $1 doing what you love doing, you're blessed. That $1 is a dollar you receive for doing what you love.
Yeah.
So let me
Like
just say
frame it
that.
on that. Yeah, frame it on the goddamn wall that like you made $1 because of gaming.
But I think I see the argument coming back up on Twitter about MLB being pay to play. No, it is not. If your time is more valuable to you than money, spend your money.
And hell,
But if your time isn't as valuable, then spend oodles and oodles of hours playing the CPU to get your to get your immortals.
in a sense, Kep, you could spend $20 in MLB and you'll have a damn good team. There's so much shit to do in there now that you could probably just spend $20 and you're good. You're golden.
Yeah,
But,
see, I'm the type of guy where I can't play the CPU. When
but
I got into online gaming in 2003, I haven't looked back. I don't think I've ever played a single player nothing since 2003. I want to play people. I want to talk crap to a human, not to the CPU.
well, basically to segue with what I was saying, basically I feel it's okay with certain games, like as long because there's people that would say, "Oh, well, this is the way I would say it. As long as you're not gaining a competitive edge on something, then I think it's okay." And then people are going to turn around and say, "Oh, but you're gaining a competitive edge by getting these cards." I don't think so. You still got
No,
to.
if you don't have those cards, don't play online. Play your little CPU games to your heart's content. So you have those cards to compete.
Yeah, that's not what I'm. But that's not exactly what I'm saying. What I'm saying is there's still skill behind it, and
Right.
and there's still skill behind it, and you don't.
Hey, I go online MLB the Show every now and then and play people with an all Phillies team that's like an 82 overall, and I beat people with an all Phillies team. So
Right, exactly. You gotta have this. You still got to have skill, no matter how many immortals you have, no matter how many good cards you have. Still gotta have skill. But when it comes to, let's talk for an example, the whole fiasco that was Star Wars Battlefront 2. That was bad. That was gaining on a competitive edge, getting different guns, getting stuff that'll up your game in a shooting game. I don't like that.
people that spend a crazy amount of money on Fortnite is beyond me. Just so your character looks different, you don't gain and that game
Okay,
is
now
all skill. I get furious when my kids come to me and want money for Fortnite skins.
it's because they're so fucking cool. That's why. Like in all honesty, like yeah, Fortnite's fine. Like any game that does cosmetics, anything of that nature, that's fine. Like if you're gonna make money off of cosmetics, that's fucking genius. But if it's not a game, you're not gaining a competitive edge. I don't see a problem with it. But when it comes to Fortnite, it's always become the fact that you're always having fun with these different kind of cool characters or like different kind of dances or like I buy a dance once in a while, but not every time. But most of the time, if I ever buy something from Fortnite, it's always a battle pass, no matter what. Like, because
Yeah.
I'm gonna get more content out of that than I would just buying a straight up skin.
Yeah,
That
I think it's the best value for Fortnite is just buy the battle pass.
right? It's as long as they're dropping out something good that's not gonna give you a competitive edge. That's just my opinion. That makes sense. But
It makes sense.
yeah. Um, people saying, wonder if Immortals will be gone in 19.
I
Question.
don't want Immortals to be gone. I just want there to be
They need to do it differently.
balance. A balance. I want there to be multiple ways of getting them.
Multiple
You know
ways
what I
of
mean?
getting them and like not thrown out like just like that, like when we started, when we started the year, we had so many programs, and then we're like, when are we going to get these other ones? When are we going to get these other ones?
There
Then,
was so much to do. I didn't even know where to start. There was so much to do.
yeah, and then all of a sudden,
it needs to come in smaller waves, I believe.
Exactly. Like, and then they announced all the other ones, and they're like, ooh, we're gonna release them all now, and we're like, cool, and then we realize, oh no, that's not good. Now we're running out of content. Because, you didn't play 17, but 17 had the best content. Flat out, period. It did, and I wish you could go back and look. See it.
Yeah, I heard about Jimmy Rollins and a Ryan Howard, so.
Yeah, that card was nasty. Any Ryan Howard card was nasty, period. Especially the Jimmy Rollins from last year.
But right now we've got the Sony partners out there at SDS, getting a sneak peek with 19, and hopefully what's being discussed, and hopefully it doesn't go on deaf. Hopefully it doesn't fall on deaf ears, because from what I heard from a lot of those guys when they were, involved in 18, the show, a lot of the input wasn't implemented, or it fell on deaf ears. So, all you're selling to the you're selling to the community, like the community. Yeah. Those guys know what the community wants. They might be all different guys in different areas of the community, but ultimately, in the grand scheme of things, they all know what the community as a whole wants.
Yes, and I'm gonna sit here and tell you that I saw people on Twitter. I'm not gonna name names because I'm not that big of a dick, even though sometimes I am. But like, there's some people that are saying that all of them are yes men. Like, all of them are like, yes, this, yes, that. But like, at the end of the day, they help represent Sony. They help get ideas out there for the community. They listen to us. They still listen to us. They may not. And here's the thing. This is going to be directed to the person that I saw on Twitter. I'm not going to say your goddamn name, but it still pissed me off. Just because they're not as angry as you are doesn't mean they're yes men. I'm sorry. Just because they're not as angry as you, they're not yes men. They're not, just because they're not complaining as much as you doesn't mean they're yes men.
Nobody's alike. Like, there's no carbon copy of anybody out there.
Right.
People might have the same views, but people aren't always going to agree on everything. People aren't always going to approach everything the way that you would. But people have to learn to respect how people feel. You may not agree with how people feel, but you got to respect how people feel. Like, I see so much on Twitter from every community, and I'm just like, what the hell just happened?
Right, exactly. Like
you don't have to agree. Just respect where people are coming from.
Right, and flat out, like, I didn't say anything because, like, usually I don't try to get myself into that situation. But I do like using, I have a platform that people like to watch, as in this podcast. And I like to use it for these situations. And when people complain, there's still people out there that still complain that a lot of these guys are yes men. And I'm talking Clutch, everyone, Quash, Paul, every single one of them. I'm not gonna name every single one of them, but it just picks me off. Like you said,
same with the Madden community. There's a whole bunch of different attitudes and different personalities in the MLB community. Just like I just said, everybody's different. Everybody has a different way of approaching stuff. You got your, Clutch doesn't seem like the confrontational, aggressive person.
He is one of the most positive people I have ever met, and I have met him.
I mean, and that's fine. If that's what makes you happy, that's how you live your life. Who am I to say, oh, you shouldn't be positive, or you shouldn't feel this, you shouldn't feel that? You feel however the hell you want to.
Right. Exactly. And
a lot of people have a hard time dealing with respecting other people's approaches and opinions.
Right.
I just, and we can allude to, what I went through, last week or the week before. And I went in DMs and had conversations with a couple of the guys who I thought were being a certain way, and they didn't need to be being that way. And we hashed it out like men, and we squashed it. And now we know where each other's coming from, not just I know where he's coming from or he knows where I'm coming from, but we both have a mutual understanding as to why we were feeling that way at that time.
Right.
And we both respect how each other were feeling at that time.
Right.
And that's how it's supposed to be handled. It shouldn't be handled in a public, and it came off like I was being a sarcastic dickhead. I'm not going to lie. When I tweeted out about if any prominent MLB streamers want to help promote this tournament. But then again, I had no idea what was going on as to why people weren't promoting it. I had no idea why people weren't promoting it.
Do you want to get into that now? I mean, we
get into it.
Yeah, I mean, okay, let's.
Don't make me get naked.
Maybe.
Wrong show.
Yeah, wrong show. Maybe. Yeah. Good night, stream. Well, before we get into that, Big Ol' Buck has graced our presence. Too bad you didn't get to see what he said earlier. Glad you could get your whole head in the shot, Kep. GG. Yeah, yeet. Game is pay to win anyways. Lol. I'm as happy, go lucky, and positive as it gets.
I feel as though my head is the size of one of Buck's titties, so to each his own.
Oh my god. But, okay, and
he thinks he can just sling his check mark wherever he wants to now.
Right, exactly. The Don DS9 did kind of this is a very good point that I think people get frustrated because it seems like our voices are not being heard. And in all honesty, I agree.
The Don, not everybody's voice
and that's
needs to be heard. I mean, I'm putting it as honestly as I can. You're like, I don't know who the Don is, or I may know who the Don is, but does Ramon know who the Don is? Does SDS know who the Don is? Does Sony know who the Don is? Unless they have to know who you are, they're really not listening to you.
Right. But most of these community guys are listening to you. And
all those Sony partners can do is go in. They're like EA Game Changers. They're not anybody but a voice for the community who they will listen to, but whether or not they act on what they're listening to is a different story.
Right. Exactly. And I'm going to tell you right now, there's sometimes when we did feel that they weren't listening to us, which sometimes, I'll be honest, they will probably, some of the Sony partners will agree with me on this. They weren't listening. But with the fact that they're sending all of them out to San Diego to test out the game, that's a great step in the right direction, in my opinion. That's always going to be like bringing them out to get like suggestions and whatnot. That's fantastic. That's something I've never seen. I've never seen them do that ever.
I know you're going down the list, but I'm gonna be real with Buck. Buck's always been real with me. I'm gonna be real with Buck. SDS doesn't want a 44-year-old man as blunt and as straightforward and no filter as you, Big Ol' Buck. They don't want that guy. They want the Shelfie. They want the Cougs. They want the Fuzzy. They want the young guys that can help. You know what I mean? Like they don't want that brash. They don't want that. EA doesn't want that. SDS doesn't want that. Nobody wants that. They want the happy go. Then
explain Mills.
Explain Mills.
He is a Sony partner.
He's a very intelligent. He's that guy that's always smiling no matter what. I don't know how to explain Mills. I find Mills pretty funny at times.
Oh yeah.
But he's not a yes man, but he
listens.
He don't cuss. They don't, you know what I mean? Like they don't want that. They don't want that to be a face of their brand. And the same with Madden. Madden only pushes certain pro gamers because they fit that mold.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's not a knock on those guys. That's just how they are. That's how they that's how they act. That's them. You know, I love Shelfie. Shelfie's a Philly guy. We're different Philly guys. He just has that personality. He has that attractive, drawn,
He
happy go
does.
lucky, you know what I'm talking about. I don't have to, write it out. But Mill's the same way. He's always happy go lucky, and if he does have frustration, he emits it in a way that will be received.
Right.
It won't be shunned. And
Right.
that's what I'm talking about. Guys like me, like I know who I am. I'm 37 years old. I did an EA stream last year for Madden where I had like 6,000 people in my chat for a Thursday night Madden stream and didn't cuss not one time. I can act the part, but that's not who I am. Like, I'm not changing who I am to get my foot into anywhere.
Oh yeah, agree with that.
And that's what they want, though. They want you to be able to help their brand, not be a detriment to it.
Right. Exactly. Big old Buck says, so you have to be a Care Bear. I mean, in my opinion, you would want the leaders in the community who have the most consistent eyes on the game. I mean, yes.
Those guys have the most consistent eyes on it. I think the only one that doesn't have consistent eyes on the game as far as like playing it and community wise is probably Mills, and that's not a knock at Mills. He don't play it all the time.
Yeah, he keeps a variety.
Guy.
Yeah,
he's a variety guy.
Yeah,
he's not even a seasonal guy. He's a variety guy.
Right, and he prides himself.
So I don't know how Mills got a Sony partner. I know he's an EA game changer as well. So maybe he just has the gift of being that guy that those companies want to deal with.
He is one of the nicest people.
He's nice. He's smart. He's
so good.
And like I said, I don't have a problem with Mills. I mean, I know a lot of people do, and that's fine. Like that's just life. Not everybody's going to like you, and you're not going to like everybody. So that's just part of life.
A lot of those guys quit on the game before halfway through the year, though. But I'll just sit here and watch. I can't say a lot of them. I mean, there's a lot of those guys that didn't grow. They didn't start on. And Buck, you're talking about Sony partners right now.
Life precedes streaming and MLB The Show. I know Quash was going through things. I know Shelfie was going through things. I know Cougs was going through things.
And Shelfie's got a baby coming.
Life precedes MLB The Show. And some of us have the luxury to be at home and be with our kids and be able to stream and play the game every day. Not everybody has that luxury.
Right.
So I know what Buck's alluding to, and a lot of those guys, they weren't on a consistent streaming basis, or that doesn't mean they weren't playing the game though. They just weren't streaming. They just weren't putting out content. But that doesn't mean they weren't playing. Right. But I know a lot of those guys were going through some things, life-wise.
Right.
And none of us are anybody to say, well, you should stream it more consistently, and you should, so. Right. We don't know.
Yeah, Clutch is doing school.
Hell, Clutch was always in the mountains fighting fires.
Yeah, hell yeah. Short little Billy Badass.
So, I mean, I can't speak for another man. I mean, we can only go off of what we were seeing, but we don't know everything.
Right, exactly. But let's allude away from more of the Sony partner talk before we keep talking about people. But I'll still allow you guys to call in if you guys would like to. 646-568-7788. Type in the meeting ID 204-998-3972. You guys can ask any question you would like to Kep, anything that you would like to know about him, anything that you would like to get his opinion on. You could type it in chat as well if you're too scared to call in, which normally a lot of people are. I'm going to tell you that right now. A lot of people are scared to call in. Dart Wolf, rumor has it that Clutch is the fire department's mascot. He fits it. Josh V2 says fly, Eagles fly. Yeah. All right. But basically, oh, what was it? A week ago, the day after I asked you to do this, we had a particular situation with a group that you are no longer affiliated with, and that's Sports Gamer Now. Or Sports Gamers Now, whatever it is. And fully, I mean, if you want to fully explain what happened and like kind of give your side of the story, because I know there was a lot of people that were coming after you. There was a lot of people talking about the situation. I'm not gonna name names, but me looking into the camera right now, certain two groups that were tweeting about it. But if you want to give your side of the situation, I would love to hear it.
I'll give my side of the situation, and it's not even my side because what I say is 110% truth and fact. So I know there is two sides to every story, but when it comes to me and my age and where I've been, what I've done, you'd be hard pressed to find somebody that's as open, as honest, and believes in honor and integrity and being honest at all times more than me. And I wasn't always like that because we're all young. We're all young and stupid, and we lie and cheat and steal. Pretty much everybody does, right? So I didn't get to how I am now without doing some dumb shit, right? So I found out about them when they signed a Madden guy who is not what I would call a decent human being. He was always scamming people, burning people, making bets, not paying up, just an all around, just not a good human being. And I got in touch with them, and this was November. I think it was November, October, November, something like that. And I said, look, this guy's not a good look for you guys. I said, I know you got, like, they tried to come to me, and I just was like, I was already doing my own thing with other organizations, had my own stream and my own things going on with family and kids and all that. So I didn't get involved. But when I saw that they had signed this kid, is when I contacted them. You guys are trying to be an up and coming esports organization. You probably should not have anything to do with this kid. They gave him the benefit of the doubt. A couple weeks later, he burned somebody, scammed somebody, yada, yada, yada. So they came to me and said, hey, Kep, you were right. Do you mind helping us out? And do you mind working with us? And I said, well, let's see what happens. If I like what I see, what I hear, then yeah, well, okay. And I try to give people the benefit of the doubt, but I'm always skeptical because I've always been burned by people who cared about me or said they cared about me. So I have a hard time trusting. I have a hard time letting people in that way, like actually investing feelings and emotions towards people because I've been burned so many times, not just by friends, but by family and things of that nature. So I don't trust very easily. I let people in easily, but I don't trust easily. Like I give you enough rope to hang yourself with. So we did we did a Madden tournament. No, we didn't do a Madden tournament. I don't remember. Anyway, we did the MLB tournament. They had signed me as a gamer, an ambassador, and a commentator. So they were actually going to fly me to Vegas for the Madden Classic, pay the flight, the room, the board, all that stuff, for me to go out and play Madden. Well, it was my wife's birthday weekend, so I declined the offer. That's why I didn't go to Vegas for the Madden Classic. And they signed me as an ambassador to help bring people on. And they signed me as a commentator, which means I would do events and they would pay me to commentate and set up events, tournaments, and things of that nature. And if there were already established leagues, if they needed me to commentate, they would pay me after whatever. I said, okay, I'll sign. So I signed a contract, 1-year contract with a 6-month revision. We put on the MLB tournament. They got Robert Flores involved. And I was like, wow, okay, cool. Like you guys are on the up and up. Everything they said and did seemed like everything was A-okay. So I was like, all right, here we go. We did the MLB tournament. The MLB tournament went off without a hitch. I've done plenty of other tournaments through another organization, IGL, for you guys that were participating in my MLB tournaments with IGL. They always went off without a hitch, no problems. People got paid. Every I was dotted, every T was crossed. So with Sports Gamer Now being what I thought they were trying to do, I didn't feel that it was necessary for me to make sure that the winner and the second place guy got paid out. Now they did a group DM and at this time I thought it was one of the guys that owned SGN, not the other guy, because I guess they both had access to their Twitter, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So they put a group DM, said, hey, you guys will get paid, da, 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 da. No one answered it. Like a day later or 2 days later, I get a DM, a crazy DM about, hey, life's hitting me hard right now. Everybody's out to get me, da, 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 like a crazy DM. And I won't share the DMs. If I have to, I will, because if SGN keeps trying to question my character and trying to throw me under the bus, then shit's going to get ugly. Because I'll share the DMs.
Yeah, we ain't going to do that here.
I'm not legally binded to keep any of that information from anybody. But there's two things you won't do. And that's talk about my family or question my character. So those are two things I get really upset about. So I was like, all right, you know what? Fine. I don't care how long it takes for you to pay me. Make sure those guys are paid. That's all, and that's exactly what I said. I knew nothing about it. Well, apparently it didn't. They didn't. Those Ducey and Notorious didn't get paid for 3 days, and when they did get paid, it was $5 short to each of them. Now I know people are like, "Oh, this is all over $10." No, it's not over $10. It's over the fact that you're an up and coming wannabe. You're a wannabe up and coming esports organization, but it took 3 days to pay out. What was it, $250?
Yeah,
I think it was. Or was it I forget how much the exact thing was. I forget how much but it was a $5 short to each guy, and it took 3 days to pay them. If you're an esports organization, you should be able to wipe your ass with $10.
Right.
Simple as that. So it wasn't over the $10. It was over the principle, and it was over the fact that you have stuff going on. That doesn't, people that won a tournament and are expecting a certain amount, like people expect to get paid. You don't mess with people's family and money, right? Those are two things you probably shouldn't mess with if you don't want to piss somebody off. So it wasn't over the $10. It was that was IGL's tournament, Dartwolf. Not, this was a $250. So I think it was a $200 to the first place winner and $50 the second place winner, if I'm not mistaken. Or it was $200, $150 to first and $50 to second. I can't remember. I think that was what it was. Either way, it was a couple, chunks of money. That's a lot of money to somebody.
Yeah, that is a lot of money.
So it wasn't based. This wasn't over $10. This was over the principle and over the fact that you're an esports organization. You should be able to pay your people right away, no questions asked. And I took responsibility after the fact because it's my name tied to it. Like, a couple people came at me saying, "Oh, it's your fault." Like, no, it wasn't. I just commentated it and put it together and used my website for people to sign up and whatnot. I'm not responsible for paying those guys out. I'm getting paid too. I'm getting paid to commentate. I'm getting paid to take the entire weekend away from my wife and kids to commentate a 2-day baseball tournament. And it was cool. Robert Flores was in on it. I had a blast. It was great. But this whole not paying people and then making it seem like it's not that big a deal, it is that big a deal when you're an esports organization. No esports organization should have to worry about paying people for tournament wins or paying people that's working for you.
Right.
And once the second I caught wind of that, I was done. And I signed a 1-year contract with a 6-month review, but I told them verbally in Discord one thing and I'm done. Like, I'm too old. I don't have all the time that I do have. I invest into this. I'm not wasting my time. You will not ruin my name. You will not ruin the rep that I've built. So as soon as it was done, it was done. Well, the other day, somebody came into my chat and asked what happened. So I told them exactly what happened. Basically, what I said right here. I don't know if there's rats out there, or there's undercover agents or moles, but they ran back and told SGN. So SGN subtweets me and starts questioning my character again. I didn't jump ship when things got bumpy.
Mm-hmm.
Don't say that I jumped ship just because things got bumpy. No, I got out of something because my name ain't getting tarnished over nothing.
Exactly.
If my name's gonna get tarnished, I'm gonna do it myself. I'm not gonna let somebody else do it for me.
Right.
So if you want to work with SGN and SGN becomes the biggest thing since Luminosity, good for you. Happy for you. Big Kep won't be with SGN anytime soon or ever again.
Okay. Sounds about right. I'm gonna tell you guys right now that after that whole situation with Kep, it was the day before. I'm gonna give everybody clarity and I'm gonna give everybody transparency on this. The day before everything happened with Kep that he just explained, I got a DM saying that SGN could help me out with getting guests. Like, because I'm having it, like I said in the beginning of this stream, I'm having problems getting guests. And they're like, well, we could help you feed guests. You know, we could feed you through to some people. Maybe some, they're going to feed, and they've already told me that they're going to feed me towards a pro football player or a former pro football player and Robert Flores. And eventually that is going to happen. I don't know when that's going to happen, but I'm taking Kep's advice and making sure none of my name gets drug, or nothing of me and that nature gets, tarnished in any way. So I'm taking it with a grain of salt.
Here's my thing with SGN, right? They have no corporate. They don't have anything, right? They're getting this on the premise that they're going to blow up.
Mm-hmm.
They're promising all these little streamers and all these. They're promising them way more than they can give them.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, if you go to a small streamer and you have this tag of Sports Gamers Now, esports organization, all these guys are like, an esports organization's approaching me. Where do I sign?
Like, I'm not gonna be signing a damn thing.
It's not Luminosity. It's not Echo Fox. It's not. It's not those guys. Now, could they possibly maybe get there? Yeah, but don't blow smoke up people's asses.
Right.
Don't mislead people.
That's exactly.
If you're going to promise people something, as a matter of fact, if don't promise people shit if you know you can't deliver.
And that's why I'm taking it with a grain of salt. That's why I'm taking your advice. That's why you've told me to be careful. And I want to be as transparent as possible.
And it has nothing to do with what happened to me. It has nothing to do
exactly
with what I experienced. It has everything to do with my feeling towards them, even when I did sign with them. Like, I knew this was a possibility. I knew there was a possibility they weren't going anywhere, but I took the chance because I felt like I was doing it was part of the greater good. Like, I looked at the bigger picture. Like, I'm bigger than they are. And that's not, and I said this when we were talking earlier before we started, that if that's not coming from a place of pigheadedness or egotistical or anything, I'm bigger than they are. That's a fact.
Yeah.
I have the presence that they don't have yet. So I was helping them. They weren't helping me. I was helping them.
Exactly.
And then when when my name gets brought up in some controversy, I can do that myself. I don't need your help doing that. So I'm telling people to be careful just because of the feeling I get with them just trying to do too much, not having the financial backing. They're not an esports organization, okay? They're a gaming group. All right?
Yeah.
Now they're trying, but like, again, don't blow smoke up people's asses. Be honest. Tell them where your money's coming from. Tell them how they're going to get paid and if they're going to get paid. Because a lot of people that do this want to get paid. You can tell yourself till you're blue in the face that you don't do this for money or you don't do this for any type of financial gain. You're lying to yourself. because anything you want to devote your time and energy into, you want to get paid for.
Right. Exactly. All right. Well, Lil Macy 24 said, "Can you tell Kep I said hello?"
Hello, Macy. Hello.
We'll shoo away from all that conversation. Getting, well, we're speaking truth in all honesty, but we can't sit here and talk about it the entire time. But I mean, you probably could, but I can't. I
I
definitely
love to
can't.
talk, man, but I don't blow smoke up nobody's ass.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm just letting everybody know that I have some type of working relationship with them. I'm not getting paid for it. They're just helping me. So that's where the transparency comes from, and I need to be transparent to everybody. But trying to run down the list to see if there's any topics. Nats fan 31 said, "Facts, Kep's real. He is a real inspiration to me, and I look up to Kep for advice and life stuff. He is my second dad." Oh man.
You know how many Twitch children I have, but my mailbox is empty on Father's Day. It's a shame.
Ouch. Oh. Big ol' Buck said, "Kip has been huge for me the last year, facts, but I'm his dad."
I've had so many one-on-one conversations with Buck, and he's my elder. He's 7 years my elder, but there's been quite a few times where I've even told I've told Buck straight up stuff, and I'm as real with him as I am with anybody else. Like I'm pulling no punches, man. I can lay my head on the pillow every night knowing that I've been true to myself and true to everybody else that I come across. So,
Right.
like I said, I haven't gotten here without doing some dumb shit, saying some dumb shit. So everything's a lesson. And I'm still learning. Even with the stuff that happened after that, with the exchanges I had with, FOS and Quash and Daddy Damu, and like that was a learning experience because I came off in the wrong way. And if I mess up, I will apologize. And although it was the intent wasn't there to piss people off, that's what it did. And I had to apologize for, saying, look, that's not how it was supposed to be. And, I took it as a lesson. And from now on, if I need promotion of a tournament, I will go and ask those guys because that's what they want. I'm not that guy that asks for things. So,
Right.
But from now on, I know that there are some people out there that want to be asked for their help.
Right.
And I can understand that.
Right.
I'm not the guy to ask, but if those guys need to be asked to help, then I will ask those guys.
Right.
I guess a lot of people felt I was on a high horse of some sorts, thinking that I didn't need to ask for help, that I automatically warranted it or I automatically should get it without asking. And I can understand that too. So from now on, if I ever throw a tournament again, whether it be for myself or from a sponsored person, I will go to you and I will ask you to help promote it for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And either way, I'm going to be promoting it no matter what because I love MLB tournaments. So you don't have to, honestly.
And that was my thing. Like that was my thing. And I think Buck alluded to that in one of his tweets too, was why are you getting upset at something that could be good for the community, not for the individual, but for the community as a whole? And that was my thinking too, was like, hey, I'm throwing a community tournament, and let's all be on board. Let's all promote it.
Yeah.
But
right.
There are some people out there that want to be asked, and I can understand that.
Right. Gnome says hello.
What up, Gnome?
Can you
Gnome, I need some transitions.
No, I'm in line first. Quiet. Lil Macy says, "Can you ask him if my Falcons or Braves are going to do better next year?"
I don't care.
Ouch. Well, alluding into the topic of hello Dan Bio, good to see you. Alluding to the topic of baseball, with your Phillies, you think they're going to get Harper?
My Phillies lead the league in every player to be rumored that's in free agency. Like I think the Phillies are signing Babe Ruth. Like, there's so many rumors. I've never seen, like, I know hot stove and whatnot, but with this social media, the social media age is ridiculous. Like I just don't. I want to see. I want to see what truly happens. Do I hope they get Bryce Harper? Yes. I will never have bought a jersey so fast in my life because I love Bryce Harper. I love his attitude. That's just because of how I play. When I played baseball, that's how I played the game too. Wanted to win. Was an ass. Hustle. Just wanted to win, and that's. I know he could be a little prissy at times and a little hot headedness. But if you're an athlete, we're all that way.
He's a
Deep down inside, we're all that
he's
way.
a good ass baseball player, flat
A
out.
very good baseball player. So I will never have bought a jersey so fast in my life. That is until and if Mike Trout comes home to Philadelphia. Then I will have bought a jersey faster than I bought Bryce Harper's jersey. But do I want the Phillies to sign Bryce Harper? Most certainly, yes. Who wouldn't want Bryce Harper?
Exactly. I mean, I want the Cubs to sign him. Do I think it's going to happen? Probably not. And they've even said, "Oh, we're not in on Bryce Harper." Probably giving a fucking smoke screen, bitches. I I don't know. It's
Phillies have done some good moves. The offloading of Santana's horrendous contract and getting Gene Segura, the signing Andrew McCutchen, although I think they gave him a little bit more money than I would have, but I'm not a GM or an owner
still a good signing
franchise. But I think McCutchen can do some things in our lineup that he might. He's not going to be the MVP, Andrew McCutchen, but he's definitely serviceable, can still play the game. And then the signing of Dave Robertson to help that bullpen, who a lot of my fellow Phillies fans don't think the bullpen is good. But I'm sorry, when your 7th, 8th, and 9th is Robertson, Dominguez, and Neshek Dominguez, I don't know who, I think the 7, 8, 9 is pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, if they end up signing Bryce Harper, do you see them in the near future when Trout is a free agent? You still see them going after him? I mean, they did.
Most certainly. I don't even think Mike Trout is a South Philly kid. Well, South Jersey, but season ticket holder for the Eagles. He's a Philly kid. Now, do I think he's disloyal enough to leave Anaheim or Los Angeles or whatever the hell they're called these days? The Angels. I don't know that he would leave. I don't know that he would leave there just because that's the type of kid he is. I don't think he would. I don't think he's not one of those guys that is going to leave for money. He's going to stay to where he's going to be loyal. He's going to be loyal to where he's at. Mm-hmm. And even though he's out on the West Coast and he's not, it's crazy that he's out there and we still know who Mike Trout is because he's the best player in baseball. I don't care what nobody says. Mookie Betts is not even close to Mike Trout.
Right. I agree.
So you're the best player in the game. Do you want to come home? Probably. Will you? Who knows? We don't know that.
It just all depends.
I love it, most certainly, because I love Bryce Harper and Mike Trout are 1A and 1B of my favorite, athletes in all of sports.
Right. Exactly. I could definitely see it in the near future. Gentleman, can't say his name correctly. The Angels will keep offering these bad signings, and Trout will stay thinking the signings will pan out. But the Angels aren't going anywhere anytime soon, so why would he stay if he isn't money?
That's pimpologist PhD. That's my little empanada.
My apologies, pimpologist. My apologies. Well, with that topic, we didn't get much into that topic because we've been talking about a lot of other nonsense. I mean, not completely nonsense because it's been having us go for probably the longest I've ever had an episode go. We've been going for over an hour and a half.
This is fun.
Yeah. I didn't say it wasn't fun, man. But there is one more topic I want to get to before we call it a night. If you guys want to get your questions in, like get them in now, or
lightning round.
Yeah, lightning round, or forever. Yeah, lightning round, or forever hold your peace because after this topic, we're most likely done. But as Gnome said in the chat, I do this is a topic I did want to talk about. How do you feel about the Foles and Wentz situation?
Nick Foles, I love you. I most certainly love you. 27 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. You did some good things, right? And then you left and you were ass for the Rams. You went to the Chiefs. You didn't think you were coming back to football. You came back because Doug Peterson needed you. And you stepped in when Carson Wentz, during an MVP season, most likely was going to be the MVP if Carson Wentz did not get hurt against the Rams. Freak ACL, MCL. He goes out. You come in. I lost all hope in the Eagles doing anything. You didn't play well against the Raiders. You didn't play well against the Cowboys. You came in. You helped beat the Rams when you came in for his injury. But you played like hell against the Cowboys or the Raiders the following week. And then the last game of the season, when we thought everybody was going to rest, you played the whole game and played like ass. I didn't think we were beating the Falcons. I didn't think we were beating the Vikings. Damn sure didn't think we were beating the Patriots to win one of these. Right? Thank you so much for bringing the Super Bowl trophy, the Lombardi, being one of the cogs into bringing Philadelphia its first ever Super Bowl. I thank you. But you're not Carson Wentz. You're not the guy we gave up a bunch of stuff for to move up to second overall to draft. You were not the MVP of the league before you got hurt. You got us a Super Bowl, and I will forever love you, Nick Foles. But Carson Wentz is 3 years into a very good career. And although people will say that you wouldn't have taken the team to the playoffs, who knows? You were playing. You came back 9 months. Carson Wentz came back 9 months after a torn ACL and MCL. Was not 100% healthy. Then to come find out he's got a fractured lumbar in his lower back. Still put up a QB rating. Still put up almost 3,500 yards. Still threw 22 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. Carson Wentz is the Eagles' quarterback. Nick Foles, if you go and get some money, go get some money. But you're not Carson Wentz. And hopefully Doug Peterson can see that the way he ran the offense with Nick Foles is the same way he needs to run the offense with Carson Wentz. But Carson Wentz is a future MVP of the NFL. He is the Ginger Ninja. He is the Ginger Messiah. Carson Wentz is my quarterback. Nick Foles, I love you, but Carson Wentz is my quarterback.
Yeah. That's exactly, from a non-Eagles fan perspective, I always felt that if you're going to go, I mean, he's definitely a good quarterback, and I feel he will go down as one of the greatest backup quarterbacks possibly ever, because he came in and he won a Super Bowl out of being out of a backup position. But
he won us the Super Bowl. Right?
Yeah.
It was a shootout. It was a shootout with the greatest quarterback of all time, and he ended up winning. But without the team playing the way they did at the right time of the year, that defense played phenomenally against the Falcons and the Vikings. Without the defensive effort against the Falcons, we don't beat the Falcons in the divisional round. You know, the defense only gave up 7 points to the Vikings. And yes, Nick Foles, put up numbers against the best defense at the time in the league. And then he outshot Brady in a shootout. I understand that, but it's a team thing. It's a team thing. Nick Foles is not Tom Brady.
Yeah, I agree. And if he's want to go out there and get money, then go for it. But they're gonna go with the younger quarterback, the guy that they plan their future on. I'm sorry, certain Eagle fans that think Nick Foles is better, but he's not the starting quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles. It's Carson Wentz. It always has been. It will be for the near future.
He's going somewhere else. It's like a $20 million team option. He's going somewhere else. He's not coming back.
Yeah.
We're not going to pay $20 million to a backup quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Carson Wentz isn't making anywhere near that.
Right.
So
exactly.
They're going to get rid of the Foles is gone. They're going to use that money elsewhere. Brandon Graham, to answer your question about Brandon Graham, he's gone. We're not going to pay Brandon Graham. Derek Barnett's coming back. The draft is loaded with defensive ends and defensive players.
You were
Brandon
not
Graham
wrong.
won't be back.
You're not wrong. But I agree with you. Wholeheartedly agree with you. But yeah. That I guess we could segue now into the into the last bit of the show. Any final words kept for everybody that has been watching? I know a lot of people didn't really get any questions in because we've been talking about the Philadelphia Eagles, but any final words to anybody out there watching right now?
No, I'm never a man
Of final
that
words.
doesn't know what to say. Uh, no, I just want to thank everybody, man. Even if you're in here and you're watching me and hearing me for the first time, you've never seen me stream, come by, man. I know I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but come by, and we'll go from there. But to the people that support me day in and day out on a daily basis, whether you're subbed or not, even if you just come in and hang out and you're cool and chat, like I honestly thoroughly appreciate everything that has happened to me over the last, coming up on 3 years.
Right.
And I cannot say thank you enough. Cannot say thank you enough to everybody that I've gotten to know. A lot of people I get to know on a personal basis. And trust me when I tell you this, and my wife gets pissed at me all the time for this, is I will never, ever not answer somebody. Whisper, DM, tweet, whatever it is, whatever you got going on. Chances are I've been through it. Chances are I've been through it. I'm pretty sure I've been through just about everything a freaking human being can go through, and I'm only 37 years old. So no matter who you are, get to know me. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, and I'll be your friend until you give me a certified reason not to be your friend.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I love and respect everybody until you don't love and don't respect me. So if anything, man, my DMs are open. Follow me. I follow you. I follow everybody back.
right.
If you look at my following, the followers on Twitter, it's damn near the same, except for like teams and celebrities and athletes that I follow. They don't follow you back. But
yeah.
every regular human being that's just like me, I follow you back. And if you ever need anything and I can mentally or physically do it, I do it. So don't be afraid to reach out to me. I'll talk to anybody, man. So again, just thank you guys, everybody. Again, like I said, subbed or not, doesn't matter to me. I treat everybody the same.
Right. And
No one's more important. No one's more important than the next guy.
Right. And I definitely always appreciate you, especially when you're willing to come on here and be on my show and talk to me about anything. Like we literally just sat here and shoot the bull literally about anything that's going on with streaming, anything that I could talk about, and I love
That's
it.
what a podcast is.
I love it. I love it.
My wife keeps telling me. My wife keeps telling me, do your own. I don't. You know
Chat,
what? You know what
chat.
it is if I spent as much time on my own shit as I do talking to everybody else and hanging out in everybody else's streams and shooting the shit all day long with other people in their streams, I'd probably be a lot bigger than I am. I'd probably have more subs than if I put more time into my shit than I do others and helping people and talking to people. But that's just who I am. I don't know any other way.
Right. Exactly.
And
chat, I'm gonna ask you. Do you want to see Kep do a podcast? Give me a 1 in the chat if you would like to see Kep do a podcast similar to mine, maybe, or Michael. You said like a Rappaport.
I would do
podcast.
a Michael Rappaport style podcast. I'd
get a 1 in the chat.
I kind of eased off the cussing because it's your podcast, and if it was mine,
you didn't have to. You didn't.
That was out of respect. That was out of respect for you,
right? No, I understand it. I keep it at least PG-13 if we ever have you on again in the near future. But yeah, I would love to see it. Like something like Youngsky is saying, kept uncensored. That would be beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see. It is a new year. New year, same me, but it is a new year, so I don't know. We'll see.
Mm-hmm. All right.
If I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it right. I'm not gonna do it half-ass.
Right. All right, guys.
But again, I appreciate you guys, man. You guys have a great night. Whitey, you have a great night too.
You. Appreciate it, Donnie Baker.
You didn't think you didn't think we were gonna go this whole podcast without me calling you Whitey, did you?
Nope. I was waiting for it. I was waiting for it. I was hoping it would come at some point. I don't give a shit you calling me that anymore, to be honest.
You're a hell of a guy, man. You're a hell of a guy.
Yeah, I embrace it just like you embrace being called Donnie Baker. Did you look? I mean,
I swear to God.
Yeah, you swear to God? You need to grow that hair out, and you need to tow your boat out of the backyard. Bro, you need to grow that out. He had longer hair than that, man.
You got my wig laying around somewhere.
Oh, man. But you guys know in chat how much I appreciate you guys coming out every single time we have any type of these podcasts. And I appreciate every single one of you. Anybody that came to my stream from Cap Stream, I appreciate you coming by. I appreciate you following my stream. I'm always doing this. I'm trying to always do this podcast every Thursday, working towards doing that. And I'm always streaming. Well, hell, for the last week, I don't know what the hell I'm streaming. I'm in a weird funk, and I don't know how to get out of it. But
we all get there.
Yeah,
we all get there.
Oh well, I get in that weird funk, and then I'm like, what the fuck am I streaming tonight?
That happens to everybody.
Right, and then I turn on the stream, and I'm like silent as hell, and then I turn on a video and start watching shit. But I appreciate every single one of you that came by. Appreciate you, Kep, for coming on and agreeing to come onto this podcast.
I appreciate you having me, bud.
Yeah, I really thank you for coming on, man. Appreciate
Hopefully
it.
If there's anybody in here that did not know me or had some sort of opinion from outside sources, hopefully that changed or whatever. So, but I appreciate it, man. You all have a wonderful night, and we'll see you guys tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll see him. You'll see me tomorrow evening at 5:30, same place right here. Streaming, like I said, I don't know. Dartwolf, I see that message. Shoot me a Twitter DM or shoot me a whisper. I will help you out as much as I can, because as of right now,
I don't know anything about slobs. I still use OBS Studio.
I do too, but I've gotten through slobs and I know my way around. So if anybody needs help with any computer stuff, you can always reach out to me. But appreciate you guys coming out. Right now, I'm gonna send you off to someone else. He is actually gonna be the next week's guest. I still need to finalize with him, but I am pretty positive we're gonna be having him on next week. Make sure you guys stick around for the raid. We are going to raid my good buddy Chew Man. He will be the... Wait, I did it wrong. Fuck me. Whitey fucked up. All right.
Y'all have a good night.
Yeah, y'all have a good night. Go tell my buddy Chew Man he's also part of M2S. Tell him Cubs fan sent you. Cubs fan and Big Kep sent you all the way from Out of Bounds. And thank you guys. This has been Out of Bounds with Cubs fan 004 right here on Twitch. Beta.